you've been on before, great to see you again. I look forward to checking in at the end of the class and having a little chat. If you are new, my name is Coach Mike. I am a teacher, former rugby player, athlete, do a whole bunch of different stuff, but I love to gather in groups of people and just form community, feel better about ourselves, grow in some way, challenge ourselves. And I do that inside the classroom, outside the classroom, one-on-one sessions, all sorts of different ways in which I apply that. And so we have a mindfulness meditation exercise class here where we link our mindfulness with a movement. We spend about 40 minutes of the class, I would say, more in the movement territory where we're working up a sweat, feeling our muscles get a little bit of a pump, a little bit of a burn. And then we spend about 20 minutes in a very specific mindfulness practice at the end. But of course, those practices are very related and you're doing a bit of both at all times. When we're moving, we're being mindful. When we're being mindful, we are certainly feeling our bodies and experiencing the gift that our bodies can give to us. So there's three principles I like to think about that we all formed together during the pandemic in this class, which is starting off with gentleness. This is certainly a gentle class. We're starting out of a seat. We'll build up into a little bit more intensity, but we do that while respecting and honoring what our body is telling us and listening to what it's telling us. So we're being gentle to start. And then we're pairing that with our second principle is mindfulness, listening to our body and how much gentleness it's asking for. And then when it invites us forward into maybe a little bit more of a strenuous activity, a little bit more of clenching those muscles, a little bit more burn, a little bit more depth in a squat, whatever it might be, we push ourselves when our body is ready and inviting us to do so. So all throughout our practice, we're being mindful, we're listening to our body, we're feeling the particular muscles we're trying to work, whatever those may be. If we're sort of feeling a nice bicep squeeze, we're paying attention to that, but we're also always scanning our whole body. So when we're working that left bicep, maybe at some point you bring your mind down to your right toe. You see how that feels as this muscle is working. Our body is one coherent, cohesive system working together. And part of this whole experience together is to be mindful and aware of your body throughout. And then what that all leads to is sort of our third principle, which is you adapt the movement to feel good for you. You want to give that comfort we talked about, be gentle. We don't want to hurt or strain ourselves excessively or anything like that. And then you adapt to bring yourself into as much of a strenuous experience as you want, as is feeling good and right for you in the space you're in. So we're going to work through a series of movements. I'll describe the structure in a second. And as I do so, I'm going to give you lots of different variations and forms, and you pick the one that's right for you. This is hopefully sort of a playful experience. A lot of the movements draw on animal metaphors and references and stuff like that. It's supposed to be playful and enjoyable. So play around with the movements, get them to feel good for you. I want you to leave this experience feeling better than when you came in. That's certainly one of the goals. And you adapt the movement in light of that. And one very basic adaptation you'll hear me talking about all throughout is you can do so much with your mind and your muscles. Very great physiques in the bodybuilding world have been formed with people just doing body weight exercises and literally just squeezing particular muscles, squeezing a quad muscle, squeezing a pec, a chest muscle. And if you really squeeze it, the harder you squeeze, the more you're working that muscle. So you have a lot of control on your end of the screen to adapt these movements to you. So start off with gentleness. Mindfulness is listen to your body and take it as far as it wants to go and pay attention to your body all throughout. It's a whole mindfulness experience and adapt the movement in terms of all the feedback your body is giving you. The second big part of the class to understand before we get started is our structure. We draw upon the Tabata method here, which is basically a fancy word for saying there's a very effective way of working out, which is a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio. You can bring this into the gym with you. You could do it on a jog if you go for jogs, or you jog for 2 times to 1 jog to walk ratio. Very adaptable structure, very simple, 2-to-1 working to rest ratio. So we'll do 40 seconds of work in an exercise, and then we'll pause for 20 seconds. And normally in those pauses, I'll be describing the next move or giving you some tips or some cues. That's a great time for you to take a deep breath, gather yourself. If you're feeling amped up and you want to keep working, go for it. Adapt on your end of the screen. And that's also a great time and a great reminder for us here to remember drinking water is a big part of this experience. We have had some hot days here. in Lower Fairfield County, where I'm from, and I'm sure it's the same where many of you are from. And always a good reminder to drink water, get a good meal in after the session. We want good protein coming in. Carbs are helpful after workout, especially. So if you leave here and you're feeling a good pump, definitely fuel your body afterwards as well. So gentleness, mindfulness, adaptability. We're doing that 2-to-1 work to rest ratio mostly throughout after we do a little warm up. And then drink plenty of water. And we finish the class with a very specific focused mindfulness meditation activity. I have a few I rotate through, and I'll talk you through that at the end. And again, if what I'm giving you is not exactly where your spirit or your mind is at right now, and you want to just sit and take some deep breaths, you make this the experience you want it to be on your end. I'm offering you possibilities, options, suggestions, and you take those as they feel good or right to you. So that's our overview. I'm Coach Mike. Looking forward to meeting some new faces after the program and checking with some old friends as well. So generally you want a good solid chair beneath you. You want to be sitting towards the front of the chair, feet flat on the floor, and everything starts off with a good posture. We're sitting towards the front of our chair. At times I'll be spinning my chair around a lot so you can see both angles. You stay comfortable on your end where you want to be. Don't worry about spinning around your chair as I do, but just to show you, this is what I'm talking about. We're sitting towards the front of our chair, good posture, core is engaged, feet are flat on the floor. We're sitting upright through our core, through our chest, shoulders down and back. And let's just start off with some deep breaths here. Deep breath in through the nose. We like to allow our stomach to expand on the in-breath. Hold that breath for a moment. Exhale fully out of the mouth. And as you do so, the stomach, the navel comes in towards the spine. Deep breath in through the nose. Good hold there for a second. Exhale out of the mouth. Do a few of those on your own. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth when you're ready. Do a few more on your own. Just become aware of your body. Do a little body scan. How are your feet feeling? How are your knees feeling? Thighs, hips, core, chest, shoulders, arms, neck, face. Few deep breaths on your own with a little body scan. Just take note of how you are right now. How are you arriving? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? Take 2 more breaths on your own. Lock in that good posture. We're upright and alert, but we're not strained or uncomfortable. Wonderful. Now, one sort of further cue to bring you a step further into a good seated posture. Posture is so important. We spend a lot of time sitting. We want to have a good, healthy posture to support our body, our back, our spines, our hips, etc. And so a little reminder as we're locking in this posture, we're taking in some deep breaths, shoulders down and back, chest out, feet on the floor. One last little cue I love is just imagine there's a little golden string lifting you up through the crown of your head. Core lifting up, sitting upright, holding that position, breathing deeply and naturally. And now we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up. And throughout our warm-up, all of these exercises involve a mix of breathing and movement. Every exercise involves breathing and movement. With these particularly, we want to pay attention to linking up, syncing up our breathing pattern with our moving pattern. And we'll start sort of at the top of the body and go down to our lower legs. And our first is out of the sort of Tai Chi tradition, is a movement called the crane stretches its wings. And so we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose, lift up overhead, and then as we exhale, we turn to one side and let the arms fall down naturally. Deep breath in through the nose, hold at the top a little bit, exhale out to the other side. So a little turning, getting the core activated, deep breath in through the nose. Just nice steady flow and rhythm here. Going at your own pace, follow me if you'd like, but if you want to hold in a particular part of the movement, wiggle your fingers a little bit, let them rain down. Take this as slow or as fast as feels good to you right now. Just trying to link up a deep in-breath. In-breath, we think expansion, reaching. Out-breath, we think contraction, settling. Maybe one time reach up and just wiggle those fingers about up top, move the wrists around. We're just feeling our body getting loose, getting a little warmed up, working out any kinks. Ready to get into a more strenuous workout as we feel ready. Let's go 2 more moves here. This last one, I want you to reach up overhead. And now just do a gentle back bend. Don't go too far back. Just point back with your hands. Feel the whole chest, core opening up. You could let your head drop back gently. Continuing to breathe deeply. And when you're ready, exhale, let the arms fall to the side. Good. I love starting off with that movement. We got another good 4 movements coming along here. In between everything we do, always feel free to shake it out a little bit, reset yourself, remind yourself of that good posture. We're always coming back to that good posture for our body's sake, and also that reinforces our mindfulness. We're aware throughout our whole practice here, and always feel free to take a drink of water. Our next movement, also from the animal kingdom, is just a simple butterfly wing movement. So you're going to place your hands on the side of your head, around your ears, wherever feels comfortable. In breath, open up those elbows. The palms can come off the side of your ear, and you can just be on your fingers. Exhale, coming forward. Trying to get close to touching the elbows together. If you can't get there, that's fine. This is our warm-up. You're just going to where you can at this moment. Inhale, expansion. Stomach expands. Exhale, contraction. Navel goes in towards the spine. Simple movements, but the more you could link up good posture, good breathing, good movement, the better you're going to feel. Exhale, elbows coming in together. If you're feeling warmed up and you want to go at a little bit more of a pace, that's fine with me. Whatever feels good for you on your end. We'll be more strenuous with our exercises in a little bit. Going at your own pace for a few more reps. And then the last one, just let the arms fall gently to the side, shaking things out, feeling good. We're moving down the body. We were reaching up overhead before, more into the shoulders, chest, upper back now. We're going to get more of the core involved and lower back in a second. But first, a drink of water. Good. Our next movement is also going to involve linking up the breath with the movement. And if you have done yoga before, this is sort of a cat camel variation. Hands up towards the front of our thighs here, about on our knees, again, wherever feels comfortable. Play around with the movement and see what feels good for you. We got our good posture locked in. As we inhale, our stomach expands. As we exhale, navel goes in towards the spine. And this, you're going to get a little playful with the animal movements. And you're going to do exhale, you come forward. Like, around the spine. Inhale, elbows come down. And we arch back. Feel those back muscles pulling you back. Exhale. Inhale. The range of motion will increase with time. Start off gentle, and you'll find a deeper range of motion as you go. Get the neck involved, look back gently. Whatever feels good for you, not going into strain or tension, just getting warmed up. Few more on your own, syncing up that breath with the movements. Big inhale, stomach expands, leaning back, opening up. Exhale, compression, contraction. Feel this down in the lower spine, loosening up, the upper back. Good. And finish on a comfortable movement wherever you are. 2 more movements in our warm-up, then we're jumping into our main workout here, starting to get the lower body involved a little more. We're going to cross the right leg over the left in that common sitting position, and then we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose to expand the stomach as you can. Use our knee and our leg as a pivot point to turn around and open up our chest, our shoulder. Try to look over to the side. Look as far as you can with your neck. Get the whole chest, the whole core involved. Deep breath in. Exhale, but stay here this time. Then we're going to go even further. So stay at the level of the turn that you're at, and then take another deep breath in. Exhale, go further. As you exhale deeper into the stretch. One more breath over here. Inhale through the nose. Stomach gets big. Exhale out of the mouth. Turn even more. And then release. Good. Now we'll go over to the opposite side. Left leg is going to come over the right leg. Nice, good posture. Inhale, expand. Exhale deeper into the stretch. Hold it there. Inhale, expand. Exhale deeper in the stretch. And we'll do that 3 total times. So left leg over the right leg. Find that posture. This is sort of your anchor pivot point. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Trying to turn to the left. Neck looking over the shoulder. Chest opening up. Core turning as well. Play around with it. If it feels good to sort of put the arm out and feel that around, feel your shoulder. Play around with these movements. This is hopefully playful. Deep breath in through the nose. Expansion. Sit up. Find the posture. Exhale. Turn to the left. One more deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Last part of the stretch. Exhale, contraction, deeper into the stretch, and release. One more movement, working down into our lower body. We're going to do a bit of a forward fold here. So we're going to be sitting towards the front end of our chair. Heels are on the floor. Those can be pointing up towards the sky. We're going to reach up overhead, deep in breath. Coming forward into a gentle forward fold as far as you could go. Leaning over, feeling a little stretch through the hamstring. Then you can start to pull yourself down with each breath in through the nose. Find that good posture again, expand, and then a little deeper into the stretch. Deep breath, expand. You can come up part way and find that flat back again. Exhale, coming even deeper into the stretch. And then inhale yourself back up. You could use your arms to push yourself back up. Find your good position on the chair again. And that's our warm-up. And if you're viewing this class at any point in the future on YouTube, or if you want to go back and review it after this class, I say this often, but you're certainly welcome to grab that as a warm-up. Do that once a day in the morning, before bed. That would go a long way for mobility, general health, good breath awareness. That just got me feeling good. I cracked a little bit of a sweat. That works some of the kinks out in my shoulder. Great little warm up there, syncing up the breath with the movement. Feel free to use that. Run that once a day. That took us 10 minutes or so. Great little mobility activity for you on a daily basis if you'd like. Now we're going to start to get into a little bit more of the heavier workout. We'll have 2 rounds of exercises out of the chair, 2 rounds of exercises standing. You adapt the movements along the way. I'll give you possibilities. We do about 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest, and we'll do 5 exercises, 2 rounds with those 5 exercises. So we have 5 exercises out of the chair. We're going to do, it's the summertime. It's been hot out. I've been getting a lot of swimming in. We're going to do some nice swimming movements. Play around with that. We'll do a leg extension with an opposite hand reaching overhead. So good posture, good flex in the quad, opposite hand reaching overhead. And we're going to put our arms up into boxer position. We're going to do opposite tap out with the toes and punches at the same time. Okay, so tap wherever you'd like. Have a little fun with it. These movements are playful. Then we're going to do adductor holds where we're going to push it. We're going to make 2 fists with our arms. We're going to push in at our knees. And we're going to squeeze those inner thighs and keep those inner thighs nice and happy. And our 5th movement will be bicep curl into overhead press, using a lot of that mind-muscle connection to get a good squeeze going. Those are our 5 movements, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. I'll call out the intervals, water break in between, gather your breath. If you're feeling strong, feel free to keep working, and we'll have a good time. So coming up in, we got swims in 3, 2, 1. Play around with it, just have some fun, 40 seconds of work. I'm certainly not a swimmer, but I do like to get in the water. And if you want to try out some different swim patterns, if you know the breaststroke or anything like that, have some fun with all these movements. We're just getting moving, feeling out our body, and throwing weird, different, strange movements at our body is a good way to keep it happy in a lot of ways. Our body can fall into routines. If we do the same movements all the time, we get overuse injuries. So have some fun. If you want to do one of these guys, just have a little fun with it. Play around. Again, I'm no swimmer, but I don't mind being silly. And that's going to feel good. And we'll go for 3, 2, 1. And we pause there. So that's our first exercise. 4 more come in, 2 rounds of this. Break moves quickly. Next up, we got leg extension with an overhead reach. I'll throw some harder variations at you in between if you want them. Let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Opposite hand with the opposite leg. As I'm doing the opposite leg, I'm feeling that my quad is getting a nice, good squeeze here. That mind-muscle connection is crucial. I got a tougher variation for you if you want to do double legs. That gets pretty tough. Double legs with the reach overhead, even tougher. But if you're still sticking out here, first round, get warmed up, feel confident in this move, and you could throw the variation as you'd like. If that's even feeling a little too hard, just a single leg kick is fine with me. We'll go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Sitting towards the front of our chair, good posture. We're going to get boxer hands up next. We're throwing punches. We're doing taps. Reach out wherever you'd like. Be playful with it. Try to link up the opposite hand with the opposite arm. That's good for our body. We'll get going in 3, 2, 1. This is a bit about balance, proprioception, awareness of your body and space. A little more cardio to this one. Pick up speed as you feel confident. Try to keep the arms up the whole time. Three, 2, 1. Good. Now for the 40 seconds and break it up however you'd like. We're going to do push-ins. We're going to make 2 fists with our hands, put them between our knees, and you're going to squeeze in. Isometric strength. You don't need to move to build strength. Sometimes just pushing against an immobile load builds a lot of strength. So you want to push in. If you want to break that up into 4 little mini sets of 10 and take a little break on the squeeze. Squeeze as long as you can and take a little break. Try to keep active for the full 40 seconds. And we'll jump in 3, 2, 1. Trying to squeeze. I'm probably going to go 2 sets of 20 seconds or so. Little pause in between for a little break. But go at your own pace. This is the adaptability portion. Listen to your body. Only go as long as you need to. Already, I feel my legs shuddering a bit. Good sign that we're getting stronger. Little break for me. Little pause to recover. Right back into it. Little pauses just to get through the 40 seconds. If you could hold it for the whole 40, more power to you. Go for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Last movement coming up in just a few seconds is going to be our bicep curl to an overhead press, double arms, both at the same time. Really bring the mind to that bicep muscle, get a good squeeze there. Like when you were a kid, you'd flex your bicep, want to feel that muscle squeeze, and that's what's going to help it to get stronger and going to pump all that good blood around our body, releasing all sorts of good chemicals, endorphins, etc., etc. Let's jump into it in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, press, come back down, squeeze, press. Going on your own. Even at the end, feel the triceps here, the back of the arm. Give a little extra push there. Good squeeze coming through all the muscles the whole time. We're feeling like Superman. We're nice and strong. Good posture still locked in. Deep breathing happening. Bringing all the different things we've warmed up with together, all together. We'll go for 3, 2, 1. Good. And that is our first round done. We'll cook through the next round in a minute or so, a little extended break. Grab a drink of water, take a few deep breaths. But listen, if you want more movement, I'm not stopping you. Feel free to do any of those movements in our little extended break here, and we'll be back into it in about 15 seconds. I'll turn to the side on some of these just so you can see a different angle, what I'm working with. But have fun, play around, feel the movement that feels good to you. Link up the breathing with that movement. Listen to your body, scan the body throughout, and push your body as it invites you to comfortably do so, I would say. So we're going to go into swims in 3, 2, 1. Feel all the different parts of the movement. Get the elbow higher, maybe go lower. We're not judged on our swimming form here. This is just a way to get our shoulders and our back all involved, core involved. But you could also do a little imagination exercise here. Pretend you're in a nice, cool pool if that sounds refreshing to you. Go for 3, 2, 1. Good. Leg extension with overhead reach. Simplest form, just get the leg extension in. Leg extension, opposite arm reach. Double leg extension, double overhead reach. That's the most challenging, I think. Pick the variation that's good for you, and we'll go in 3, 2, 1. Remember, we're paying attention to all parts of our body. So this is a quad dominant movement, a leg dominant movement. But as I'm doing this, I'm feeling my back muscle. I'm feeling this lat muscle locked in, keeping my body strong, tight, and confident. Breathing's going. Three, two, one. Good job there. We got punches and taps coming up next. Front of the chair, tapping out with the feet, throwing punches, steady sort of cardio based round here, getting going in 3, 2, 1. Not as much of a squeeze or muscle burn feeling here, more cardio, more sustained effort. But as these arms stay up here, you're certainly going to start to feel a burn in the shoulder. Feel the core. Going for 3, 2, 1. Good. 2 more movements. Let's keep our body balanced. Instead of pushing in, let's push out this time against our hands. And this time you could do sort of reps. So opening up clamshells, heels rolling over. Let's just keep the legs balanced in terms of the work we're doing. We'll get going in 3, 2, 1. So pushing against your hands, pushing in with the shoulder, chest muscles, coming back in. You could push against an immovable force if that feels good. If you like the movement we did last time, you could do that. But it's good to balance what we did last time with working the outsides of the hips. Three, two, one. Excellent. One more movement. We got our bicep curl into overhead press, feeling the biceps. As you finish the movement, I like to get a good squeeze in that tricep. As we're pressing up over the head, we're feeling our pressing up overhead, we're feeling our shoulders. Pull it all together here. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Posture's locked in, feet are flat on the floor, breathing is steady. Going for 3, 2, 1. Good. That is our second round of seated exercises. We're going to move to a standing position if that's comfortable for you, and you could do the standing movements. If you're more inclined to stay seated, you could certainly rework those movements we just did. You could do variations on what I'm about to show you for standing movements. Again, controls on your end. But I'm going to stand up, adjust my camera, you grab a drink of water, find some space in your room for where you could do standing exercises, and we'll be using the chair as a support system as we do that as well. And you could use that as you'd like. So you'll be seeing me move this chair around as to give you sort of a different angle on what I'm doing. Let me just make one more adjustment here. But just know that you could have your chair confidently in front of you the whole time. If that gives you a sense of stability and support, use that. If you feel confident doing movements, you have an active fitness regimen on your own, you can certainly push the chair away and follow along with me. I'll be moving it into and out of the frame just so you can see what the movement is. And same thing as with the seated exercises, we'll do 2 rounds of 5 exercises, and then we'll go into our meditation portion. So these are going to link up a little bit with the first movements we did. We'll start off, our first movement will be just in a slightly crouched position. We're just going to keep doing our swims here. Love that swim movement. It's the summer. I'm thinking about swimming. Then we're going to do squats. So we're going to use this chair here for support. If you don't want that, you could just do squats on your own. Any squat variation you'd like. If you want to do squats into the chair, that's fine as well. You don't need to go to any depth. If this is all you're getting today, that's a fine place to start for you, and we'll grow in the future. And we're going to do another sort of Qigong movement, separating heaven and earth, slightly crouched stance. One arm pushes up, one arm pushes down. We don't go to full extension. It's not about the arms in this movement. You go almost to full extension, but you're thinking of elongating the spine. I'll show you how that goes. Fourth movement will be leg curls. We'll go back and forth on these. Curl, feel the squeeze in the hamstring. That's that movement. And then the last movement will be, and we will be on the chair for this, if you'd like. Rock the boat. We're coming up on our calf muscle and getting a good squeeze in our calf. And I'll talk you through that as well as we go. But basically, you can get as far into the movement as you'd like. So if you want to come up on one foot, that's fine. If all you're doing today is just that, that's fine with me. This is work and balance and calf health, which is very important. So those are our 5 movements. Let's jump right into them. We'll do a little bit of a faster pace here so we can definitely get to our mindfulness experience by the end of the class. So swimmers, slightly crouched stance, little Y, what we call a horse stance maybe if you'd like. Just a quarter squat, little Y stance. Get into our swim in 3, 2, 1. Have some fun with it. Move around if you want. Get mobile, get fluid. Come up over the top. More tighter, controlled. If you want to do more of a, whatever this move is, what is that, the breaststroke? That's feeling good to me right now. I might stick with this. These are playful, nice, flowing movements. We're going for 3, 2, 1. Next up in a few seconds is going to be squats. Use the chair for support if you'd like. Go as deep as feels good for you. I'm going to move the chair away just so you can see me, but feel free to hang on to that chair if you'd like. We'll get going in 3, 2, 1. If I were using the chair, I might be doing this, just a little extra support, a little extra stability, a little extra confidence. Going at your own pace, as many reps as you could get. Going for 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Next up, we're going to be back. You can be back in this sort of quarter squat position, horse stance, as they call it. If your legs are getting tired and you want to just stand upright, that's fine as well on this movement. But if you're looking for a more vigorous workout experience, keeping a little bit of tension on those quads is going to get a good pump going. We do separating heaven and earth, one arm pushing up, one arm pushing down, but we're bringing our awareness to our spine, elongating that spine. 3, 2, 1. So not a full extension, nice, slow, steady movement, elongating that spine. Three, two, one. Good. Now we're going to do leg curls. So using this as sort of an anchor point, you're just going to squeeze left heel up to the butt, right heel up to the butt. Feel the good squeeze in the hamstring muscle. Don't squeeze so hard that you get a cramp. Is one potential sort of thing that could happen here. So don't squeeze that hard. Build up the tension as you get confident in the movement. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. One more movement for right now. Imagine the chairs in front of you, but we're going to do our rock the boat movement. If you've been around before, pretending we're just on a rocky boat, we're working on our balance. You control how deep into the movement you want to go and how much control you have. If you want to hold it up into a high sort of toe point on one side and squeeze there, that's probably the most difficult version. If you just hang out here, that's a good version for anybody. So let's go in 3, 2, 1. Pause in 3, 2, 1. And that's the end of our first round. We're going to do a little bit of an abbreviated second round. I want to give that time to our mindfulness experience. Time management is still a slight issue for me sometimes, so I want to make sure we prioritize that. So we'll do a little abbreviated version of the 5 exercises to finish off, and then we'll go into our mindfulness in just a moment after a little drink of water. Good. So we'll do a little bit quicker, more like 30 seconds to 15 seconds. Just follow along with me for the breakdown. Certainly revisit any of these movements or activities or practices after class. Spend more time on them if you really like them. If a movement felt good, go back, revisit it, do it a little more. Use this material as you'd like. This is a tool, a gift for you now. So let's get into swimmers in 3, 2, 1. And pause. Again, rapid fire here. Quick chance to catch your breath. And we'll go into squats. Using that chair for stability as an anchor if you'd like. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Good. Again, if you want to keep the stress, the tension on the legs for a bit, get a good pump going. We'll do this next move in a quarter squat horse stance. But if not, you could do this standing as well. We'll go into separating heaven and earth in 3, 2, 1. Again, not full extension with the arms. We're bringing our awareness, our mindfulness to our back here. Nice, slow, steady movement. No need to rush this. Really feel this in your whole back. Pause in 3, 2, 1. Let's skip the leg curl. Do that on your own if you'd like. We'll finish on rock the boat. We've done a lot of leg work today for the thighs, so we're good on the leg curl, I think. Let's do that rock the boat. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Again, going to wherever you feel is good. This is all you want. Get plenty of work here. Keeping both feet on the floor. Good squeeze in the calf that's pointing. Working on our balance. And as you get more confident, you come up onto the toes as well. We'll go for 3, 2, 1. Great work. That's got me sweating and breathing heavy. Let's return gently, slowly, carefully to a good seated position in our chair. I'm going to adjust my camera and come a little bit forward for our mindfulness experience. Excellent. Okay, so after we've given the gift of movement, of oxygen, of blood flowing to our body, we've paid attention to our body throughout, and now it's time to give that same sort of mindfulness, the same attention to our mind. Mindfulness is an active disposition of the mind, and very often our mind can just feel like a flow of thoughts, maybe that we don't even have control over. We might not even feel like we're the one directing that flow of thought. So we can give mindfulness to our body, to our muscles, to movement, and we can give mindfulness to our mind, and that's a gift as well. I rotate in my own sort of spiritual mindfulness practices between 3 different kinds of mindfulness and a lot of different kinds, I suppose. But the 3 I sort of share with you often. If you've been here before, you know them. But I like to share 3 in a class setting. It all starts with deep focus on the breathing. So if that's all you fall into today, that's totally fine with me. But in terms of what we're going to practice as an official practice that you could sort of bring outside of the class, this is sort of a daily review practice. I practiced a Jesuit spirituality, a Catholic order of priests for a little bit. They call this an examen, but they're sort of a daily review that people in the business world do all the time. I think back to Ben Franklin would start his day and end his day with a review of what he hoped to accomplish and what he did accomplish. He was certainly a businessman, so that was geared more towards productivity and achievements, which is fine. It's a powerful tool for that. He would start his day off and he would address powerful goodness was the quotation I was just looking up before. And at the start of the day, he said to himself, "What good shall I do today?" And then at the end of the day, he took some time to review what good did I do today. That's a very powerful practice, certainly applicable towards goal setting, things like that. But I also just like to sort of approach this as a chance to savor my day more, to savor the experiences. And it feels like so often, maybe our day is rushing past us or around us or through us or by us. A daily review of looking at your day with loving, gentle kindness is a great practice. So we'll start off with some deep breathing, and then I'm just going to ask you to think about your days, whatever transpired today, and we'll talk and think about the highs we experienced, any lows we experienced, and our hopes for moving forward. Highs, lows, and hopes. That's my little structure. Use this as you'd like. You could apply it to the day, to the week, to the month, to the year, to the life. You could spend an hour doing this, 5 minutes, 3 days. Very applicable, very adaptable, and use that as you'd like. So just listen to my voice, follow along with the cues, pay attention to whatever comes to mind. And if you just want to focus on your breath, that's totally fine as well. So just start by finding that good posture we've been affirming all throughout. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Allow your stomach to expand on the in-breath. Hold that breath for a moment and exhale fully out of the mouth. Breathe in light, hope, and rest. Breathe out fear, worry, and anxiety. As you breathe in, see your body being filled with light. As you exhale, breathe out any remaining tension or worry. It is good to look over and consider and savor and process what we've gone through in any given day, week, month, year. It might seem obvious as we're experiencing it, but so quickly in busy lives and busy times, it can be lost to a murky past. So we take time to give ourselves, our mind, the gift of presence, to give our past self the gift of presence. That self still needs love, compassion, and consideration. So I want you to let come to your mind the day you just experienced. And as you see the past day you lived, you felt, consider any highs you might have experienced. Those could be wins, successes, or just moments where you felt at home in yourself, where you felt most fully yourself. And I just want you to look at those, see them, savor them, listen to them, feel them, and take a few minutes on your own just to sit with those highs from the day you just experienced. Maybe it's obvious, or maybe something surprises you, but just be present to it. And then considering the past day you lived and experienced, let any lows come to mind. And we don't do so to judge or to fear or to worry, but just to notice, to look at it with compassion. Just the moments where we didn't feel fully at home in ourself, maybe, or felt not our full self. Just notice them, look with love, offer compassion, forgiveness, but see them and realize they were also part of the day. And then sitting with all that you just noticed and saw, we take the final moments of our meditation to feel some hopes. Who or how do you hope to be in light of what you just saw moving forward? Whatever comes to mind, whatever you experience is fine, but after having looked back, we look forward with hope and trust and expectation. And then taking a deep breath in through your nose, you could gently open your eyes, return to full presence in the state you're in. You could loosen up a little bit, do a little stretching, whatever feels good at this time for you. And I thank you all for being here. It's always a great joy to touch base with this community um, again and to review and relearn some of the practices I discovered here. I learn as much by being a part of this as I hope you might learn. I discover something each time I do a movement and talk through these practices. It's only an hour we spend together, and it's only an hour once in a while these days. So I certainly encourage if anything struck you or felt good and you wanted to linger longer in it today, a movement, the meditation practice, whatever it might be, then take it out of this classroom and go into a different space. And you could sit with this meditation experience 10 minutes before bed, 20 minutes before bed, 30 minutes before bed in the morning. Do it once a month, do it once a year. It's adaptable, like the movements we did. It's flexible. Apply it in your own way. I would just recommend bringing compassion and generosity to it. Um, and same thing with the movements as well. The seated exercises could be good for anybody once a day. The warm up, the standing, whatever it is. This is a gift for you. It's been given to me freely, and so I pass it on. Anytime you have sort of a surface to stand up against is just keep the back heel flat on the floor, and the more you push back, the more you'll feel that calf stretch. Just standing like that, hold that for a little bit. That's going to loosen it up. Um, Anytime you're sort of this is typically sort of more seen as a hamstring stretch, and you'll certainly feel this through the hamstring. But if you put your heel on the floor, so that with this movement, your foot's going to be flat on the floor. With this movement, your heel's going to be on the floor only, toes sort of pointing up. The more that toe points up, the more you're going to feel the calf. So that's a little bit more. This would be a good starting spot. If you're not feeling much here and this feels pretty comfortable, then you kick that heel out, toe pointing up to the sky. The more the toe points up to the sky and you bend forward with good posture, the more you're going to feel that calf loosening up. But really, a lot of times, there's sort of tightness works in a few different ways, and sometimes it's because the muscle's too tight and too cramped and stuff like that. And sometimes it feels tight, but you want to get it stronger. So it might sound counterintuitive, but doing that rock the boat or doing calf raises is going to make that muscle sort of happier and stronger. It's going to get in there. It's going to feel a little better.